What is up, guys? My name is BobaTalks and welcome back to a brand new Gotham Season 4 video. Now this video is a very interesting video and I've been really looking forward to making it because I've been doing a little bit of investigative work and I found out a few things in relation to this character, which you may remember from the trailer for tonight's episode, which is Things That Go Boom, episode 10. Now after my forking in, I've kind of dug out this nice meaty juicy theory, which kind of definitely I feel is got to be quite close to what might be happening, but also in the mid-season finale and beyond in terms of Jerome. But I will save the theory and kind of suggestion from this character in terms of Jerome and the jokery kind of stuff until a little bit later, because we need to discuss what makes sense and how this even makes sense with this character. So let's give a little bit of context as to what's happened so far, guys. And so what do we know so far? Really quick recap. Obviously, Penguin took over the city of Gotham in terms of the criminal underworld. He brought crime licenses into Gotham. He was basically the absolute kingpin of Gotham. And to be honest, Oswald did earn his way there. I mean, I'm a fan of both heroes and villains. But of course, Mr. Jim Gordon, now Captain Jim Gordon, could not stand for that. So he went to Falcone. We got back Sophia Falcone from Falcone's little place in the Falcone land of Falconiness. But even though Sophia acts like this damsel in distress, she is far from that, as what we know. And up until now, obviously, Penguin really kind of fell for her, but not in the way that you might think. Only in terms of Penguin wants love. He wants kind of a family and stuff like that. So if you even hint that to Oswald and break through the crusty exterior, let me know if you get that in the comments. You'll basically unlock this ferocious loyalty in Penguin that he will go absolutely, I don't know, banzai for if anyone were ever to hurt you, kind of thing, like he kind of was with Sophia. You see where I'm going with this. But we learned in the last episode that Penguin has had an enlightening moment that Sophia isn't who she seems to be. And yes, he suspected that for a little while now, but now he knows. And from the trailer from the next episode, or tonight's episode should I say, if you want war, you've got war. Now if you watched my last video as well, I broke down the promo photos for this episode, and it seems that Sophia really does completely do like the cowl removal kind of thing. You know, she unveils herself completely to Penguin, and you know, it seems like there's going to be a full-on war. Martine seems to be caught on the crosshairs. Will he die? Won't he die? I made a video about the theory that he might die, but I am actually split 50-50 down in the terms that he might not die, but Oswald will still be completely and utterly crushed by either his death or his betrayal, running back to Sophia. It doesn't matter how it goes down, but it is going to start the war of all wars in Gotham. Now let's talk about the actual beginning point of this video, which I really wanted to get down into. In this trailer, I asked you guys, who is this character? Who is he? I don't believe we've ever seen him before, but who is he? Now, after doing some digging and talking to, like, should I say, a source, which I can't really get too into, I found out some things, and I've kind of panned this kind of connection together, and trust me, you're going to want to stay around for it. Now, the name of this guy and the actor for the character, and I'll get down to the character in a second, is D. Baron Bolton. Now, his character will be debuting in tonight's episode, and here are actually a couple of pictures of him on the set of Gotham, and I find these photos very fascinating. Now, I actually posted one or maybe even both of these pictures to Twitter, and I was like, okay guys, I got a video coming out either today or tomorrow, and it ended up being today, well, tomorrow. And I said, guess who you think this could be? Most people said the ventriloquist, and some people said a recasted electrocutioner, sorry. But no, if you're a bit more keen-eyed, you will look at the kind of tools, or should I say, I don't know, utensils, or I don't know what you should call them, in that little coat of his, which I'm sure will brush off some blood spatter, or that is its very purpose. You will actually see that they are most likely dentist tools. Now, my theory is that this character is the dentist. Now, some of you may be asking, who is the dentist? Now, some of you may not know, because I believe he was introduced in the New 52 around 2013. I looked up his character and learned a bit more about him, because I wasn't, I'm not the all-knowing god of everything. But his background is very interesting, and I've got a couple of theories as to how he will be introduced, and how I don't think he will just be in one episode, because I don't think they would kill off a character like the dentist just like that. But as you've probably already inspected by yourself by now from the photos I have shown, this character is most likely that person, because the pictures are very uncanny. The tools in his coat are just, on point in terms of being the dentist. And that's one of the things I love about Gotham anyway. They do introduce characters that are new and both old. Not necessarily new, but from the past few years. And I'm most excited about this character because he's a very psychopathic, you know, absolutely crazy kind of twisted bloke. And to be honest, it may sound weird, but villains like that, like the Joker and Professor Pig, etc., are my favorite kind of villains. So for kind of a new DC Comics character that, you know, around 2013 that debuted in like the New 52, I'm really excited because, you know, I feel like a live action version of him is going to be incredible. And just you wait until I get to the Jerome Joker connection. Now, my theory is that after all this stuff has happened with the Penguin and the whole war that is going to completely explode with Sophia Falcone and Penguin, and, you know, the both sides, to be honest, because I believe we see the Sirens as well with Sophia Falcone, and now we've got, you know, Penguin and Victor, but will Victor stay loyal to Penguin? That's all a question within itself. But I think that the Penguin is going to hire this guy, the dentist, to be his very sadistic kind of, I don't know, like torturer-esque person. He's already got someone like Zaz for that, but he's more of like the guns blazing kind of bloke, go in and get shit done, to be honest. But whereas the dentist, he could probably do a lot more things in the sinister kind of way. Now for the bit that probably a lot of you have been waiting for in this video is, well, how does he tie to Jerome? How does he tie to the Joker even? Now, if there is one thing I know about TV shows or movies and stuff like that, normally, or most usually, if not all the time, things are not done by mistake. So if you see something and it looks Easter eggy or something like that, it was deliberate. It's done deliberately, or whether it's through storyline or something like that, they didn't do it by coincidence. Now, if there's one thing about Philip Miles, aka the dentist, is that he does have a connection with the Joker. And I find that too much of a coincidence to introduce him in the episode right before the mid-season finale, where we all know by now that the synopsis for the mid-season finale states that a familiar smile resurfaces in Gotham. Now, Philip Miles, aka the dentist, has this obsession, absolute obsession with the Joker in the comics. And if you actually look at D. Baron Bolton's picture of himself, I do believe that one of these photos is of him inside Arkham. Now, even though we know that we're not going to Arkham in this episode, this is what leads me to believe that he will be going beyond just episode 10. He might not be in episode 11 or maybe even 12, but whenever the mid-season finale or whenever the Jerome story arc comes with Penguin going to Arkham as well, I've got a feeling that this guy might be involved with Arkham somehow. My theory runs a bit, not completely dry there, but in terms of if Penguin gets him involved in episode 10 with the fight against Sophia Falcone, then what place does he have being in Arkham Asylum? But I'm pretty confident that he will be in Arkham Asylum because I got a feeling they might be drawing from storylines like the League of Smiles. Now, I don't expect everybody to know stuff like this, but I feel like the show might be borrowing things from different characters and applying it to, you know, they do this occasionally. So what did we have in Gotham? We had the Cult of Jerome. Now, I don't need to explain what the Cult of Jerome is to all of you, but what is the League of Smiles, you may be asking? Well, the League of Smiles was this most messed up, screwed up, sinister Joker gang in Gotham on the streets. Like, it was the #1, I don't know, loyalist cult to the Joker in the comics. Now, this cult or gang or whatever way you look at it, the League of Smiles was made up of 4 crazy, obsessed, lunatic-y people, and the leader of them was the Merrymaker, but one of the members was Philip Miles, aka the dentist, who we will most likely be seeing in tonight's episode of Gotham. In fact, I'm very certain of it because it's just way too much of a coincidence if you add all these dots up. Now, I'm going to read out this description of the League of Smiles that is very well put. I couldn't really put it any better myself. And I'll tell you how I think it might be tying in with Gotham. At the very least, some of it, I believe, will. Dr. Byron Meredith was a crazed doctor at Arkham Asylum who used his own methods, including torture, to rehabilitate his patients. During his time working at Arkham, Meredith began to study the Joker more and more. He was one of the few doctors that could tolerate the criminal. Eventually getting fired, Meredith went into solo practice. He based his therapy on Joker-obsessed cases. In Gotham, there was no shortage of crazies who loved the Joker. There are 4 people, however, who caught his attention. Philip Miles, the guy we're talking about, aka the dentist, Annie, David, and Rodney. These 4, he noted, desperately needed leadership and guidance. Now, the rest isn't so important because what really matters is that Gotham is its own universe. We know that more than anything, and they adapt storylines or just borrow some things from storylines and copy and paste them or glue them to a new one, and just like they have with Jerome and other things like that. Now, as I said earlier, I don't think it's a coincidence that they're going to be introducing the character who I believe is the dentist into Gotham at episode 10, right before Jerome is coming back around early next year, January, I'm betting. We might even see him in the mid-season finale when Penguin goes to Arkham. Who knows? I could be wrong there, but who knows? But I think that with this picture of the dentist, possibly at Arkham, it's very possible that they could be borrowing storylines from the League of Smiles, that maybe this dentist has been stationed at Arkham or something like that, maybe not even as a dentist, but maybe as something else, and he's been kind of, I don't know, seeing Jerome around or seeing him privately, like as you might do within an asylum, and as he's been studying him, he became obsessed with him. So as I said, Cult of Jerome, League of Smiles, it's very similar, isn't it? So as I've already mentioned, like the Cult of Jerome in Gotham season 3, and then League of Smiles in the comics, they share very kind of a lot of parallels. Obviously, the League of Smiles was mainly run by one person and, like, well, 4 people, built up as well with Philip, aka the dentist, a member of that, and the Cult of Jerome was a much more widespread. So even though the storyline starts off with perhaps the Penguin, I don't know, using Philip Miles, aka the dentist, to, I don't know, be one of his henchmen, because I believe he has also worked with Penguin in the past. This is what kind of fuels my theory here. And then with our speculation of Penguin going to Arkham, because we have seen him on set with Selena Kyle or Cameron Cordova in Arkham Wear. And what do we know Jerome is doing? He's in Arkham Wear as well. What do we see in this picture? We see the dentist possibly in Arkham Asylum. Now, what does that scream to you now? Possibly League of Smiles-esque kind of storyline where he's obsessed with the Joker, and that is actually one of Philip Miles, aka the dentist's defining traits, is that he is very obsessed with the Joker. Now, obviously, this is very early Gotham, so we've got Jerome, so maybe this all started for Philip Miles because he might have been seeing him at Arkham potentially, but I don't know about that. But what I do think is that this scene here, or this picture of the dentist, is in Arkham. So we're just going to have to wait and see. I just think all of this is a bit too much of a coincidence in terms of the filming and all the other things unfolding. I may not be right about all of it, but I think I'm pretty damn close about some of it. But either way, guys, let me know what you think. I'm pretty sure that this guy is the dentist. I mean, he looks just like him and he has dentist tools in his shirt. I think he's going to get in some messed up scenes, and the war between Sophia Falcone and Penguin is going to be a very, I don't know, it's just going to be a heck of a war. So I think that if Penguin does use him, and judging by the comic book history in terms of how I believe he has worked with Penguin before, then it's going to get very sinister, and it seems that they're really keeping up with this theme, and that's not really a surprise at the same time of, you know, in terms of messed upness, because the first half of Gotham season 4 is kind of meant to mirror the long Halloween, and then the second half of Gotham is meant to mirror Batman Year 1. So this all kind of makes sense to me. Let me know how you think this might tie in with the Arkham storyline as well, which we might get a glimpse of in the mid-season finale in next week's episode, and then in the second half of the season with the main Jerome story arc. I think the dentist might still be involved with that as well. But let me know all your thoughts in the comments below, guys, and as always, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, as it really does show your support for the channel. And if you're new to this channel, maybe consider subscribing. Stay up to date with all things Gotham just like this. If you want to stay a little bit more up to date with me personally, you can do so by following me on social media. The link should be popping up on the screen around here or in the description below, guys. But apart from that, that is everything I've got today. Enjoy the episode tonight, guys. Let me know if I was right or wrong about any of it, and after the episode, let me know your theories in this comment section. But I've been me, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.